is going on there, everyone? Well, another one bites the dust, and this one actually happens to be one of the bigger ones, at least bigger names. Breaking: Kamala Harris drops out of presidential race. I've been waiting for this. I'm sure a lot of conservatives have been waiting for this because she was toxic to, her past was toxic to everything that the progressive left wants her to be. You know, she had a pretty shady prosecutorial past where, she loved to put low-level drug offenders in prisons and all this stuff, which I think can be a bipartisan issue of let's probably not do that, considering, we have to pay for them to be in there, and it's a low-level drug offender. Not that big of a deal, not to be thrown in prison for, but she had a bad past of that, and that didn't make her look good to the African-American community. Yeah, I don't like saying African-American, they're not Africans, the Black American community. And, and to everyone else, she was a liar. I mean, pretty clearly a liar. If you remember back when she was first announcing her presidency, or run for presidency, and she was on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the Man, as Styx Hexenhammer says, because I'm not going to say what he calls himself either, because he's clearly not. But yeah, where she went on saying she was smoking pot in college and listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg years before they actually put out their first albums and stuff like this. Very interesting. But lies didn't get her to go away, because if that was the case, Elizabeth Warren would be gone too. Bernie Sanders would be gone too. A lot of people wouldn't be there. But let's get into the story before I just get into some right-wing rant, because I'm good at that. Senator Kamala Harris announced Tuesday that she is suspending her presidential campaign. Quote, "I've taken stock and looked at this from every angle over the past few days. Have come to one of the hardest decisions of my life," Harris wrote on Medium. "My campaign for presidency simply does not have the financial resources we need to continue." And that's something that we're seeing, that we on the right have been talking about for a long time. Look at Trump's numbers of money he's raising. He's in the $130+ million raised, which is ridiculous. Considering he's had 95% negative coverage, this, that, and the other when it comes to the media. It's because, hey, media, anybody listening, people ain't picking up what you're putting down anymore. You've exposed yourself lying and putting out fake news so much that people just aren't listening to you. And a lot of people are donating to Trump's campaign for that. I think it's hilarious. Quote, "I'm not a billionaire. I can't fund my own campaign," Harris continues. "As the campaign has gone, it's become harder and harder to raise money we need to complete." I'm surprised you raised as much as you have, to be honest with you. Before the announcement, Harris pulled out of a high-profile donor event early Tuesday morning, according to CNBC. Shortly after, she began informing her campaign staff that she would be withdrawing from the race for financial reasons, according to NPR. And that's another thing we're seeing is these people all say, "Oh, grassroots, grassroots, grassroots." Well, if you look at some of the biggest one, besides Bernie, I'll give it to him. He hasn't been taking a lot of big donors, corporate donors. But when it comes to liars like Elizabeth Warren, Elizabeth Warren has taken money from donors, but she did it in a smart way. It was for her Senate campaign, where all the mega donors donated to her. She banked that money, so she can technically say, I've been getting grassroots campaign donations for my presidential run, yet secretly in the coffers, she had corporate-backed money from a previous run. See? She's not all that stupid. She's pretty stupid, don't get me wrong. She's a pander. She's everything that is wrong with the left. But Harris should took a lesson from her on how to save money. Before the announcement of, I think I said that already. The decision to withdraw from the race comes amidst reports of poor leadership and discipline at the Harris campaign. As Politico reported last month, the power dynamic between the two senior staffers, Juan Rodriguez, the campaign manager, and Maya Harris, the campaign chairwoman, and young sister to Kamala Harris, was especially problematic. And this is another thing we're seeing with a lot of these presidential candidates on the left, is their campaigns are just, these people don't like each other. Or they're just, they hire toxic people that just don't fit. Perfect example. Bernie Sanders and Linda Sarsour, which is making news right now because Linda Sarsour came out with another anti-Semitic statement where she said something crazy like, what was it? Like, I forgot. It was some anti-Jew thing that was just like, what? You do realize, the guy you're helping campaign for is a Jewish man, right? I don't get it. I really don't get that situation. It's pretty toxic. The turmoil resulted in Kelly Mehlenbacher, the Iowa operations director for Harris, opting to resign shortly after the campaign decided to focus on all of its efforts on Iowa, as the Daily Wire previously reported. Although Harris implies in her announcement that she may have been more of a viable candidate with more financial support, many people first noticed that Harris was a flawed candidate after she failed to inadequately respond to attacks on her reported by Tulsi Gabbard, which she crushed Harris at the July presidential debate, despite having prepared for the topic to arise, according to the New York Times. Yeah, that was a cringe-worthy everything Kamala Harris does was cringe-worthy. All the way up to her really fake laugh, her fake nervous laugh. Ugh. As the Daily Wire previously reported, Gabbard took a sledgehammer to Harris. I'm not going to rehash that because if you didn't watch the debate, I'm sure you heard about it by now. The exchange helped make Gabbard the most searched candidate of the night on Google. After the debate, Harris fired back at Gabbard by calling her a top-tier candidate. Gabbard has consistently been one of the top researched people on Google, yet DNC just will not let her qualify. Isn't that some... Even when she qualifies using the polls that they set out for her, they still won't let her qualify and go on to debate stages, which is the DNC doing what it does best. Rigging elections. They did it in 2016 with Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. They're doing it this year with Tulsi Gabbard and everybody else on the stage. No surprise there. This is going to sound immodest, but I'm obviously a top-tier candidate, and so I did expect that I would be on stage and take hits tonight because there are a lot of people that are trying to make the stage for the next debate, Gabbard told CNN's Anderson Cooper after the debate, according to The Hill. Especially when people are at 0 or 1% or whatever she might be at. And so I did expect that I might take hits tonight. The next Democratic debate will be held in Los Angeles in mid-December. I'm still trying to mentally get over the last ones we saw. And it will thus far feature 6 candidates: Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Tom Steyer, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. As you can see, no Tulsi Gabbard, or no Andrew Yang, which I don't like Yang at all. Universal basic income, you completely lost me with that nonsense. Completely lost me. Yes, it sounds good, but it's not. It's just not. Where's the money going to come from? You're going to raise everyone else's taxes to pay for people that don't want to do anything? Come on, man. That doesn't make any dang sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah, thank goodness, and thank you to Kamala Harris for realizing your time is not now. It may be in the future. Sure, you're still relatively young, but you got to stop moving so progressive. All of these candidates got to stop moving so progressive. I think what we're seeing here with polls and just the national consensus is that Americans don't want to go that far to the left as a whole at all. It's kind of scary. Our immigrant community, our Latino, not Latinx. Stop saying Latinx, leftists. It's offensive to the Hispanics. Trust me, they've said so. Ask them. Latinos and Latinas. Just because it's gendered language doesn't mean you have to put your leftist views on everybody else. You know. But we know you're authoritarian. But it doesn't matter. I keep going into little tangents. Thank goodness Kamala Harris has dropped out. She would have never have gotten far anyways. Her prosecutorial record, her lies on the Breakfast Club, everything with her was just cringeworthy. But that can go for all of the candidates, with the no, Tulsi Gabbard had her cringeworthy moment too, when she said something like Trump was helping Al-Qaeda or something like that, or ISIS. Yeah, complete moronic thing to say, but everyone says something stupid once in a while. I say it, stupid shit all the time, so I get it. But to end this Trump 2020, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.